as the most powerful vice president in American history has died at the age of 84.
Here's a live look right now at the White House, where the American flag is now flying at half-staff in Cheney's honor. ABC's Karen Travers takes a look back on his life and legacy.
Dick Cheney was called the force behind President George W. Bush, a notoriously silent but powerful VP who became an outspoken defender of the Bush administration and an ardent critic of President Obama.
When they've made all the decisions they've had, close Guantanamo, end the high-value detainee program and so forth, I think those are all mistakes.
He was beloved by conservatives and vilified by the left, compared to a Star Wars villain.
They wouldn't call me Darth Vader for nothing.
He was known for his increasingly conservative views on nearly everything but gay rights, perhaps because he had a gay daughter. Richard Bruce Cheney was born in 1941 in Lincoln, Nebraska. He grew up in Casper, Wyoming, and married Lynn Ann Vinson in 1964. Cheney first arrived in Washington in 1969 to work for President Nixon's chief of staff, Donald Rumsfeld, before replacing his mentor in 1975. When Jimmy Carter defeated President Ford, Cheney returned to Wyoming, ran for Congress, and served 5 terms, until President George H.W. Bush asked him to serve as Secretary of Defense. After a stint as head of defense contractor Halliburton, Cheney returned to run George W. Bush's Vice Presidential Selection Committee and was selected himself.
The person who was best qualified to be my vice presidential nominee was working by my side.
After 9/11, Cheney was influential in formulating the U.S. response. The doctrine of preemptive action widened the war on terrorism from Afghanistan to Iraq.
We have a further responsibility to help keep the peace of the world and to prevent the terrorists and their sponsors from plunging the world into horrific violence.
He faced challenges in and out of the White House, shooting a campaign contributor in the face during a 2006 quail hunt, and a year later watching his former chief of staff, Louis Scooter Libby, convicted of obstruction of justice and perjury. President George W. Bush later commuted Libby's sentence. Cheney's daughter Liz was one of the 10 Republicans who voted to impeach former President Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Dick Cheney came to the Capitol on the first anniversary of that horrific day. Though a political lightning rod, Cheney will be remembered by his allies as a man who served his country with conviction. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.